Hello and welcome to this video lecture presentation on the FOIL method and setup that I call dissection distributive method. Um, we'll first discuss the FOIL method and what it's for and when it can only be applied for. Then we'll talk about the dissection distributive method. The word FOIL is an acronym, stands for first, outside, inside, last. And it only works for a binomial times a binomial only. It doesn't work for any other combination of binomials that you are multiplying together. Okay. The next is the dissection distributive method. This method is universal to any combination of polynomials multiplied together. All right, so let's look at some examples. This example right here, this first one, I'm going to do both. We're going to solve it using the FOIL method, and then we're going to solve it using the dissection distributive method. So let's solve it using the FOIL first. So in the FOIL method, it's the first terms of each set of parentheses. So you got to scan each set of parentheses from left to right. What's the first term we come across in our first set of parentheses? This t. Now we look at the second set of parentheses. What's the first term that we come across? So we scan left to right, this t right here. So t times t is t squared. Now the O part is the outside terms or the walls of the problem. Here we have four terms, a t, a minus 3, a t, and a plus 2. What are the outermost terms among those four? That's your outside terms, and in this case it's t and 2. You can't get any more outside than those other than the parentheses. So t times 2 is plus 2t. Now you look at the I part, which is the inside terms. The inside terms are the innermost terms of the four terms that are involved in this problem that make up our two binomials. That's this minus 3 and this t. So minus 3 times t is minus 3t. And then we look at the last part of the FOIL method. So here's where we scan each set of parentheses again. We scan left to right and we look at the last term of each set of parentheses. So for the first set here, where's the last term? This minus 3. That's the last term of the first set of parentheses. Now we do the same exact thing here. We scan from left to right the second set of parentheses. And only in the second set of parentheses, what's the last term we come across? This 2. So there it is. So we have minus 3 times plus 2, which is minus 6. Now we just simply combine like terms. 2t minus 3t are like terms. We end up with minus 1t or minus t, minus 6, and that would be your final answer. Now let's look at the dissection distributive method. It's exactly what the name implies, where it doesn't matter what set of parentheses are first. If you want, you could put the t plus 2 first. Doesn't matter. We're going to dissect all the terms in the first set of parentheses and individually distribute them by multiplication to the values in the second set of the parentheses. So the dissection part is this, dissecting the first set of parentheses. So we'll take the t, individually multiply it by the second set of parentheses, which is this t plus 2. And then I'm going to take this minus 3 and do the same thing, multiply it by the t plus 2. So hopefully on paper you could see how I dissected the first set of parentheses, the terms in the first set of parentheses, and individually multiplied them to the entire second set of parentheses. The first set of parentheses only was made up of a t and a minus 3, t and a minus 3. And I individually multiplied them to the binomial in the second set of parentheses. So now that's the dissection part. The distributive part is we distribute the t by multiplication, distribute the minus 3 by multiplication. T times t is t squared. t times plus 2 is plus 2t. Minus 3 times t is minus 3t. Minus 3 times plus 2 is minus 6. We get combined like terms. You get t squared minus t minus 6. Same answer we got when we did the FOIL method. So now what I'd like you to do is to take this next problem, do the FOIL method, and do the dissection distributive method to make sure that you get the same answer. So the problem reads minus 6u plus v squared times the quantity 6u plus v squared. So I recommend that you pause the video, try it, get an answer, hit the play button, see if we match our answers. Okay, let's see how we did. So let's do the FOIL method first. Our first terms are this minus 6u and this 6u, which minus 6 times 6 is minus 36. U times u is u squared. Now we have our outside terms. Minus 6u times plus v squared is minus 6uv squared. Now let's look at our inside terms. Plus v squared times 6u, which is plus 6uv squared. And then our last terms. Remember, the first and the last, you scan each set of parentheses from left to right to determine what's first, what's last. Your outside terms are the walls of the problem, the outermost terms. Your I is the innermost terms. So now for the L part of the FOIL method, v squared times v squared is v to the fourth. So now we have minus 36u squared minus 36uv squared plus minus 6uv squared plus 6uv squared cancel to 0. And then I just get plus, that's a u, plus v to the fourth. So you're done with the FOIL method. Now let's practice the dissection distributive method, where we're going to dissect whatever our first set of terms are in the first set of parentheses. So it's a minus 6u plus v squared. Each one has to individually get multiplied by the second set of parentheses. So the minus 6u got dissected from the v squared to be multiplied to the 6u plus v squared, which is our second set of parentheses. And then I have a plus v squared. I do the same thing, multiply it to the v squared. So we dissected the first set of parentheses and individually multiplied them to the values in the second set of parentheses. So the dissection part is over. Now we distribute by multiplication. So I get minus 36u squared minus 6uv squared plus 6uv squared. This is all multiplication. Order doesn't matter, so I put the u and the 6 and the u ahead of the v squared after I multiplied it, plus v to the fourth. The 6uv squareds cancel, and I get minus 36u squared plus v to the fourth. Same exact answer that we got doing the FOIL method. So now here's our last example. This is an example where the FOIL method doesn't work because I have a trinomial times a trinomial. The FOIL method only works for multiplying two binomials. So we have to dissect whatever our first set of parentheses are and individually multiply them to the second set of parentheses. So I'm going to dissect the 2x, the 3y, and the plus 4, and individually multiply them to the 2x plus 3y minus 4. So what this looks like is a 2x will get multiplied to the 2x plus 3y minus 4. Now the 3y will get the same thing done to it. And then the 4 plus 4, the same thing. And then what you're going to do is you're going to distribute. So the dissection part is over. And now you're going to distribute by multiplication. And then you're going to combine like terms. And then you'll be all done with your problem. That wraps up our discussion on the FOIL method and the dissection distributive method. Thank you for listening and have a good one. Bye-bye.